All right, people, how we doing out there? First things first, my name's Kenneth Bird. My company is Black Series Edition LLC, gunmetal crystal wave technology screens, and the FLE-VT. I'm telling you, you can do tons of testing, batch numbers galore. You will still have people go out and do dumb stuff at the end of the day. They just do dumb stuff. I don't know what they think they're going to get over, how they're going to get over, how they're going to lie. I don't know. Let me explain something to you. To the individual who basically, I'm glad he sent that picture over because again, it clearly shows he tampered with the product. That's on the thumbnail. You'll see that the background is with a container. If you take a container of paint, no matter what you put in it, and you shake it up, you dump all the paint out of it, that container, unless you wash it out, is going to be whatever color paint you put in there. So if it's gray, it's going to be gray. If it's black, it's going to be black. But if you mix something in there and that paint spills on the outside of the container, you're going to clearly see two different colors, as we're seeing right there. We're seeing a gray and we're seeing the black in the thumbnail. This is the actual batch number. Now, having this conversation back with the customer, now he starts ranting and carrying on. Keep in mind, we did request a ship back. I don't understand this. And we requested you to send the product back so we can paint it up on a surface and put it on YouTube Live so we can show to you and us and everybody that the product's working perfectly fine. Why are we going through such a headache to get it done? And the reason why people fight on this is because they have messed up and did something to the product they shouldn't have done. This is the video of the actual batch number. I sent it over to him so you can understand. And he starts going back and forth. At this particular point, when you're going back and forth like this, we've already told you to send the product back. You fought us on that. You're sending us pictures, and we're looking at the container. We can see that the batch number was glued on, which was not glued on, was taped on. And then we could see that there's gray paint dripping around the container, which, again, our product is black, not gray. The other customers are showing a black screen. Here we got gray paint. This is gray paint right here. As you can see, when it hits the whatchamacallit right here, it's coming up gray. Inside the container is black. So whatever he has here, he put on the screen is gray. He mixed gray paint into it. I don't know why you would do that at all, period. You tampered with the product and then came at me and said, hey, it doesn't work correctly. It comes up too dark, can't see it. Look, man, you got customers who have this product. It works perfectly fine. They're all watching it. It works perfectly fine. Nothing's wrong with it. And when we request for you to ship the product back and you fight us on this, this means you're giving us, red flags are popping up. We know you messed with it. We know you tampered with it. And let me show you something. This is why I sent you a copy of your batch number. And when you sit there and say, well, that batch number is 2 months old, we made the product 10 gallons, 10 gallons of it. So we would have enough to stretch over until the launch date of the FLE technology. There you go. Now, we advise people not to buy any of the paint now because due to the fact that the new technology coming out right around the corner, there's no point in buying the advanced ambient light projection dedicated black cinemats because the new stuff is coming out, so no one's buying it. But we had 10 gallons of it, enough to stretch over. So we know we have enough to stretch over, and we know between the timeline of the date of when the product was shipping, no one's going to buy from us until the new stuff comes out, because no point. So anyway, this is the problem we have. This is what I sent over to my attorney. This is the problem he has. Your container is showing two colors. So you're showing this gray paint, and then the container itself is basically black. Again, if you take paint and you put it in a container, you shake it up, pour it out, guess what? Inside of whatever was in the container, it's going to be the color of the paint. So your paint's black. The two customers who basically displayed the product that came out of the same container, the same unit, the guy painted it down, his screen is also black. The woman who painted to her wall, her screen is also black. How in the world do you have two colors coming out of this paint? And then on top of that, we can tell that the batch number was reattached. See, this is what I'm talking about, the stupidity. This is what you got to go through anyway. In business, this comes with the territory. This is why I tell people at the end of the day, back your stuff. You see the outside of your container? It's matching the same color that I got on the walls that are covered in gray primer. This is gray primer. That's the black technology right there. This is what you just displayed. You displayed this same color right here. So this is the paint on demonstration. Batch number right here. This will seal your fate in court quick and fast. This right here shows the product being fully tested before we ship it out. They're tested afterwards. I sat there and had a conversation with them. I said, my man, look, we could do this in any courtroom you want. Any courtroom. Name a courtroom, I'll pop up, I'll be there. I'll basically paint that demonstration in there with a projector way lower than yours in a fully lit environment, and I'll guarantee 100% it'll work. Then I'll sue you for wasting my time. I don't think you want to go down that road. This is your batch number. So, you know, this batch number was done. It was done on cardboard. Sheets of cardboard that were ripped up and stapled to the wall piece by piece. I even painted over a little roll of what is one of those roll things you have? You put, you know what I'm talking about. Some kind of like a giant toilet paper roll thing. I'm running by painted over it. Right here you go. This is your batch number right here. This is the number attached to your container. And you see that gray in the background, the primer on the back of the wall? Guess what color that is? That is the same color that's dripping down the side of your container that was never shipped out that way. So how in the world do you have that dripping down like that? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? This is the reason why when we request a ship back, they don't expect to see that coming. Send it back here so I can put it on YouTube Live and we can all display it. If there's something, if we're scamming and we're doing anything, but that's the last thing I think I'm going to ask for is you to send it back here for me to do it YouTube Live. Because you do know live has a lot of weight. Because again, when you do something in live, there's no way around it once you mess up. You're out there for all to see. So why would I request that if I can't back it up? This is why I said you guys get yourself in trouble this way. This is what Jamie violated a batch number under 2.0. This is what he's going to be going through in court. And it's working perfectly fine. He sat there and said that the image came up too dark. It was unwatchable. And that screen is still wet. Let's go over here and let's grab some more stuff off of demonstration right there. And we got a gray wall in the back too, showing the difference between the gray surface and the black technology. Now, speaking to the customer in the UK, we know you tampered with the product. We know that already. You can see in the messages where I sat there and I showed everybody, it seriously says, I'd say, send it back. We tell you that it has made in a 10-gallon container. We show you other customers. There's some bright yellows right there. As you claimed, the yellows didn't work. It didn't pull up. That's what you said. I'm going to show the videos of what you claimed. And we tell you to send it back to us, and you fight me on this. So that tells me at the end of the day, you did something to that product you shouldn't have did. This is what you tell me. I'm going to bring this down a little bit so you can see it a little closer. Now, this is a very interesting batch number because I built the screen piece by piece. I stapled and ripped up pieces of cardboard and stapled it to the screen and painted each one in and watched it all dried in. I also did a black versus black demonstration on it too also. So you see how the gray wall is not picking up quite properly, and you see how our technology is picking up? And I tell you right now, I couldn't express this enough. Don't use the whole, who uses a 4,000. Don't do that, because somebody's already getting sued for that. Someone actually, Solid Wake 5, opened his mouth up in the middle of a demonstration and sat there and said that we use 4,000, 5,000 projectors in order to make the images pop up. That's going to cost him $1 million just because he opened his mouth and said something like that about my company. And be careful about when you slander companies. Be extremely careful, because again, if they decide to take you to court, they can, and they can sue you for what you just said out of your mouth, because it's considered slander if it's not true. So he's going to have to prove in court at the end of the day that we use these projectors when we can clearly show you that we can easily pick up at 50 if we want to. And this will cost you some money. So as you can see, picking up perfectly fine. I don't pick all contrast levels. I show everything. We show the white levels. We show it all, everything, because you need to see this. And this is why I tell people at the end of the day that why testing is important, why you should have batch numbers under your products. Because again, you're going to be in trouble if you can't back your products. All right, so shut off more of the demonstration. Here's the part where I'm just painting over anything, just for the sake of it all. This is a roller, as I was talking about the toilet paper roller. I just grabbed off the floor and just started painting stuff out, pasting it to the screen. Now imagine, not imagine, but the product that you have has been on site. I've had people walk in front of it and stare at it and had it in different places at the end of the day where people have seen it other than just on YouTube only. So yeah, it's been tested. And it has more tests, more batch number tests, more black versus black tests than any other screen paint on the market right now. So if you want to try to damage the technology's credibility, not going to work. But I can show at the end of the day that your container is clearly showing a, what's the word for it? Your container is showing two colors. That's the roller I painted over right there. Now, that's you go. That's why I tell you. To merchants, at the end of the day, batch number your stuff at the end of the day. I don't care if you're not selling paint, even if you're just selling action figures, whatever it is at the end of the day, make sure you record every single thing. If you're buying something, you're on eBay, you're a merchant. I'm not saying all customers are like this, but you got to be careful. You got to be careful. If you're on eBay, whatever you're selling, make sure you test whatever you're selling on camera, get a recording of it, and you're putting everything in that box. On top of that, this is also fantastic for the customer because at least the customer knows what they're getting. You know how fantastic that would be if eBay had batch numbers attached to it? I mean, when I buy a projector, I can see exactly how they package it and how they're putting it all together and everything, and they're testing everything. That would be nice. I've had a couple projectors come over that didn't work for Jack. Thought to myself, did they ever plug this in? So it'd be nice. But if you're selling action figures and stuff like that, I wish I would have done that when I was selling vintage toys because a few people did try to rip me off on some stuff. But I had to go in and, test everything. You got selling cell phones, test everything to look. So that way if they argue against you or something happens or something is swapped out, you can show 100% what you shipped in that box. Because some people will send you back a bag of sand or something like that crazy, and you end up getting back, losing your merchandise. But at least you can back it up. All right, so let's see. We have lights on. Here we go. Let's go over here. Here we go. There's our white levels right there. And that's where I stapled the screen to the wall, tore up the pieces of cardboard, and stapled it to the screen. So we're showing our white levels there. Let's go over here. We got some beautiful nature scenes. This is a long batch number. I swear this was a long one. This is a long batch number. Some beautiful flowers. Now, to the customer, you can rant and carry on all you want. You can sit there and say at the end of the day that I didn't give you good customer service and all that. I did give you good customer service. If I didn't give you good customer service, you wouldn't have purchased my product. Did you ever think about that? If customer service is bad, then people don't buy. I've done that all the time. I've gone to a store and they treated me with such disrespect. I'm like, you know what? I don't want your product. I'm going. If that was the case, I took the time. I talked to you. People can read through the messages. I took the time. I talked to you. I helped you out, whatever you need to help you with, which I always do. And, I just don't appreciate how you treated me in the end. Let's go over some more demos right here. And as you can see, screen's black. It's not gray. Anything we painted, it's all black. And let's go do the most impressive, insane stuff. We're going to go over here. And let's see. Here we go. That's a black piece of fabric laying against my screen. So that shows you that the fabric doesn't even match the screen. Even though they're both black, that shows that the screen technology is pulling up a high enough white level that the black surface doesn't even read or register a white level. Our technology picks it up. So when I send him over the video, the first thing he goes is, oh, that video is 2 months old. We made 10 gallons of it. We made enough basically to carry over because we knew the new technology was going to be launching in February. That's why. So there's 10 gallons of it. There's enough for us to stretch from A to B in time so we can get ready to take that product down and get ready for the new product. So using that as an excuse doesn't work. Whatever timestamp is on your container, this is where it came from. I showed you customers who have the product. I showed a fellow who painted the screen down. It's black. It's not coming up gray. We don't know why we know why you have gray dripping down the side of your container. And if you sit there and tell me, which he did, he said, well, the paint came that color. It was like that. No, 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 buddy. No, 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 no. Again, let's talk about reality here. You take an empty container and whatever paint you pour in and shake it up, you can dump all the paint out of it. Guess what? That paint is going to be the same color as what the container is going to be, because that's what you're going to have the paint. It's going to be black, it's going to be blue or green, whatever. And if you put something else in there and it drips on that container, guess what? It's going to show. That's why when I was staring at your screen, I was like, why is this screen so gray? Because your screen was coming up gray. It should have came up black. So we know for a fact that you put something into it. And then watching the paint drip down and the way it hit the batch number, you can clearly see it's gray. So we got you. That's why I told you at the end of the day, playing the devil's game won't help you. We'll see it either way. Trying to get over my company, trying to rip off my company, try to rob my company, it's not going to happen. And then you come into my channel. You got to be kidding me. After we sell you a nice product, it's tested, and after we do all this work and pay for shipping to send this product to you, you come in and tamper with my product, and then you turn around and go on my channel and call me a scammer? Buddy, you better be lucky you don't live here in the United States, because I will have you slammed with so many lawsuits, it's not even funny. Gotta be kidding me. This is what ticks me off at the end of the day. This is what triggers me. When you do hard work, you do your best to try to bring out the very best for people at the end of the day, and you got to deal with them kind of people. But you got to remember, not everybody is the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same. They're not the same. You got to remember that. You're going to have some bad apples in business, always. You ever do customer service before? We've all, pretty much all of us, done customer service before. You got that one customer that comes in where you have to tell your friend, they're like, hey, look, I need you to do this for me, because if I don't, I'm going to kill this person. We've all been down that road. You got that one person that you know is going to be the person that's going to have you in the back of a truck with flashing lights. You know it. You know it. So can you just take this person from me? I'll do you a favor. I'll buy you lunch. Just deal with them, please. I can't deal with them right now. Then you got some people that come in that you could be having the worst day in the world. That person walking in, you're hiding your whole entire life. Like, well, I'm so happy I bumped into you. I was having such a bad day. You're just an amazing customer. There you go. We all go through that. We all go through that. It takes like every ounce of freaking of everything you got to keep from jumping over that counter and just beating the crap out of somebody. We all been through it. We all got them people at the end of the day. And guess what? I tell people in business, you're going to have these people. You are. That's why you back everything that you do. You back everything that you do, because you're going to have these people. So as you can see how the background remains solid black. See how the bright greens are coming up. You see the little bits of water splattering off the vegetables. And we painted over a roll that we used for this material right here. And these are different scraps of cardboard all stapled in. Works perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. And there's the surface right there with the black shirt laying against my screen. Shows that it doesn't match any black fabric and all that other crazy stuff at the end of the day. There we go. See, and we do it in different colors. We do it with the lights out, turn the lights out for you, and do the demonstrations with the lights out. See all the work we put into it to just make sure the product works perfectly fine for our customers. This is a lot of work. Meanwhile, you got people sitting up there in dark environments with high-power projectors cutting corners like this left and right, and then getting on camera and telling you it has a yellowish tone attached to it, or it doesn't explain anything about freaking range gain, which I find that the most funniest thing I've heard in my entire life. It's funny, people. Come on, it's funny. It's funny. This is the point of how we're gimmicking screen paints now. Gee whiz, this is going to be horrible, I swear. We are not testing anymore. We're just making stuff up. Let me see. It's just stupid. It's just unbelievably stupid, just making stuff up. But yeah, everything has to be tested, and you got to back everything up. There you go. Lights out. Boom! It's my technology. Lights out! And man, that right there is just an everyday piece of whatever we use to basically, I guess, is the roll that came in for the installation. That's it. Look at it. Look how beautiful all that all just blends all in. All that's cardboard up there. Sheets of cut up cardboard that I tore off the floor and stapled to a wall in any fashion. And as long as it's coated with that technology. And that's our advanced ambient light rejection black technology. So to the customer who basically did that to us, you think you want to go farther with this? Because if you want, at the end of the day, I will push to have my attorneys expedite you down here to the U.S. for prosecution. Play with me if you want. I can back that product up any single time of the day. I told you I can walk into any courtroom and back it up. That product works 100%. There's your batch number right there. And if you want to sit there and have me redo the back number, so be it. I got no problem with it. I painted this screen live, on site, where I had dozens of people walking back and forth across this screen. If it didn't function, it wouldn't have functioned there either. And for the customers, it wouldn't have functioned for them either, at all, period. So that's what I don't like at the end of the day, when people just sit there and just lie on camera, and then you commit fraud against my company. You mix it with whatever gray, I don't know what that mess is you put in my container. You argue with me on the ship back. You waste my time because I've got things I got to do today, but we got to do this because, again, we know you're affiliated with Jamie and Solid Wake 5. Jamie, I cannot wait to get you in court. You have no idea how bad I can't wait to get you in court. I'm going to tell you something right now, Jamie. I'm looking for more. The rest of them, that I don't really care, to tell you the truth, but I'm still going to take them to court because they have to go to court either way. But you, on the other hand, I cannot wait to get you in court. I cannot wait till that day comes up. I can't. Oh, I cannot wait. Man, I can tell you some other people can't wait either, but I'm gonna leave that alone. That's none of my business. But I can't wait to get your butt in court. Expedite you down here. Yeah! You have no idea, man. It's gonna be a shark frenzy, man. When you see me walk into that courtroom, I'm out to be wearing a shark fin. I'm gonna tear you a new one. I hate to put it this way, people, but this guy deserves it on so many levels. If you ever had a troll at the end of the day that you just wanted to just grab him and get a hold of him, I got mine. I got mine. Yes, and he's gonna show up in court. He ain't got a choice. I got mine. You could, this guy, whatever nonsense you guys do at the end of the day, you can't. It ain't gonna work. But I told you, out of all of them, Jamie's the one we want the most. So yeah. It's like, I had a friend of mine tell me, like, man, you got like every person on YouTuber's dream at the end of the day. You literally caught your troll. And I was like, yeah, we did. We got him. And we got stacks of freaking criminal charges landed on him, top of him from the dumb stuff he was doing. Oh, man. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But anyway, getting back to this real quick. Yeah, I can't wait to get this guy in court real quick. Look at that. See that white level right there? So that's a white screen landing into actually white surface and black surface. So you can see the technology basically in the demonstration with the lights out. Doesn't make a difference. If your lights out, doesn't make a difference. As you can see, the white surface is not generating a white green screen, and the black is not pointed up either. We do all that stuff. We do all this before we ship out the product. All these demonstrations. And you know why I can do these demonstrations so easy like this? Because we test the products. That's why. See, I'm showing the white level. We do all these tests. You have to do all these tests. You can't do a batch number if you haven't done tests at all, period. I'm going to tell you right now, I was talking to my buddy. He was like, you know what? He said, I'm going to tell you something. This is Jamie fellow boy. He's going to dime them out. I said, yeah, we know. We already know it from the door. He's going to dime them out. Let's put it this way. He's going to dime y'all out. He is. It's just all to it. He's got so much time that's stacked on him that even if they give him a plea deal or something, they give him something, he's going to still do time either way. But they give him a plea deal, he's going to dime him out. He's going to dime him all out in a hot second. He is. They're all going down with him. You put it away. If you guys sat there and said at the end of the day, I'm just put it this way. I'm gonna tell you why he's going to snitch on him like crazy, and I'll tell you why. He already did. He already he already he already did it, and I'm gonna tell you why. The black paint. We out the request. He already did it. Remind you, he made you guys. I'm not gonna say he made you. You're grown men. At the end of the day, you know better. But you guys believed in this lie, right? And this is what got the criminal charges and everything else got stacked against him on this lawsuits and everything. So he told this lie, and you guys believed in this lie, right? So if you believed in this lie, and this guy told you this lie, then it must be the truth. If he said it, everything he must be coming out of his mouth is the truth. So when we send him that request to send us the black paint, and he refused to send the paint, we never got anything from it, that clearly shows the court that he lied. So he sold you guys down the river already. We already knew it was going to happen. Now, say he was 100% right, and say our product was black paint, right? And he found out that we were lying on our end. He'd have sent that black paint in a hot second. But it got here. And if I couldn't back the product up, it would have matched on YouTube. And then I would have been outed as a scammer, right? Yeah. So he already sold you down the river the minute he never sent the paint. So that's how we know that when you get to court, and you get the actually before you get to court, before you get into the interrogation room, that he's going to snitch on y'all. It's going to happen. He's going to blame you guys for everything, and he's not going to take any blame for it at all, period. Even though it's not going to happen, there's enough evidence to bury Jamie in court. He's going to snitch on them left and right. You're going to watch some crazy stuff go down. And when the coming months come up and they got to go to court, you're going to see some crazy stuff. But we're going to put gag orders on all of them, so they can't speak, they can't say anything. So, gentlemen, I know you're in the room watching right now, and I know two of you probably just left a few minutes ago, because you're probably, every time I talk about this, it scares you a little bit, and you should be scared, because this is going to be bad for you. You're going to snitch on each other left and right, because it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. So this is I can't tell you what's going to happen. It's going to be a wild card of whatever, but I do know you are going to spend some time in jail. I do know that's going to happen. Whether you don't accept it or not, it's going to happen. You're going to spend some time in jail. But I do know that the worst downfall is going to be you guys snitching on each other, because you guys are going to be like watching a bunch of rats trying to escape a sinking ship. And you will fight and do whatever you got to do to make sure that only one person stands as a survivor, which means you will shove another person's head deep down in that water so they can basically disappear, so you can basically have a better chance of survival. And that's what's going to happen. You guys are going to fight each other. It's going to happen. Let's watch it. And the funny thing about it, the devil knows it too. He knows you guys are going to fight each other. He's going to put all that information into your heads to fight each other back and forth. I'm telling you, they're going to fight each other. They already started. It's already started. It already started. Throwing each other under buses. Look, Danny had the ability to not remove our state so we can place the order, right? So by him taking out the state, he threw Solid Weight 5 under a bus. Yeah, he threw him under the bus because he talked all this trash about some challenge and testicles in a jar of water under the sink, which I don't know what that's about, but it's very creepy. But anyway, but by him not doing that, he threw him under a bus. That's what he did. He threw Jamie under the bus too. So the thing about it is, gentlemen, when the time comes, you're going to stab each other in the back, and the one who's going to do the most stabbing is going to be Jamie, because Jamie has the most to lose. Jimmy's already had a process server pop up at his front door already. They already know where he's at. And FBI agents will be up there soon, shortly. So, yeah, he's going to be diming him out left and right. When they get him in that interrogation room and he's sitting up there in that holding cell with so much to think about, I'm like, this is my future from now on, and this is where I'm going to be at for the rest of my life, and I don't want to be in this situation. He is going to start singing like a freaking canary, not to spend another day in that place, or to spend less time in that place. Whew, gentlemen, my goodness, I tell you, I'm glad at the end of the day that I had people that I walked with at the end of the day that they kept their mouths shut. You know what I mean? When I came up, people were like that. I'm not that person anymore, but when I was that person, I'm glad we had people like that in my crew that were like that, that kept their mouths shut. But you guys, in the day, you guys are going to sing like a canary. Yeah, Jimmy's going to stab them all in the back. He's going to stab him in the back, I'm telling you. Ain't no way in the world. He's looking at 40 years. Look, 40 years alone for post office mail fraud. That's not even talking about perjury on his company for government documents. That's 25 years right there alone. That's already 65 years. From our company, file a lawsuit against him, and with the charge we got against him, we're asking for an additional 30 years maximum without basically, keep in mind, he has multiple charges with harassment, docking, even, here's my personal, it was right over here, sending me a terroristic death threat in the middle of an open case. You're talking about roughly a good 10 years for this. Yeah, he sent a dead or alive right there on his company website, right there, with my face attached to it. That's 10 years by itself. We're requesting 30 years. 30 years without parole. That's what we want from our customer company. And I'm not pressing the charges. Guess who's pressing the charges? My company's going to press the charges because it holds more weight. So you're being charged by me, but in some ways, but basically these right here that are coming off your site, that's from there. But gee whiz, yeah, he's gonna scream like, he's gonna sing like a canary. He is. Whew. And again, our batch number. Woo! I second, back it up, baby. Back it up. Back it up. Keep in mind, gentlemen, you do not have these batch numbers, which you should have under your company. And again, you're being basically going to court for fraud because there's a separate charges. The charges for them is different from the charges for the company charges. This is where we're challenging their companies. Yeah. Woo. 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 Gotta get your groove on. This is how we do it. Got that song stuck in my head watching Martin last night. Yeah, gotta back it up. Gotta get you in trouble. That's why I said from now, like the people, if you're selling on eBay or any place you're merchant, I don't care what you're selling, record everything you put into a box. Because if not, you could have a person file a complaint against you and say, hey, look, this eBay merchant sent me a box of sand. You know you didn't send them a box of sand. You know what you sent them at the end of the day. But you got no proof of what you sent to them because you didn't record it. That's why you record it. You're sending some batteries over, some bank batteries like this. My battery's kind of dirty like this right here. Plug it in, show it works, short little video. And then basically this is fantastic for the customer because the customer at the end of the day knows it works 100% and they're not getting scammed. They might be getting a box of sand at the end of the day. So they know it works 100%. So if they basically return the item back to you and say you get a box of sand and they try to keep your money and says, oh no, I did send it back to them. You can also fight that because you can have a recording showing this is what you sent to them. And you time stamp it, put the date right there on the video. It's going to be on the video, and you time stamp it on the box or the package or wherever else you want to put it at. But you show that basically you tested that product, it works perfectly fine before you ship it out the door. That's why we have batch numbers. Got to get your groove on. I'm stuck in my head today. This is how we do it. Now, you see what color my rollers are? My rollers are black because the paint's black. You see what color it is when you're painting onto the screen? It's black, right? So for the customer over in England, guess what? This is how your product came. Just like this, from this same container, this is where it came from. So I don't know how in the world you ended up with this mess right here. What is that? That's gray. See this on my hands? This is black because I'm painting something in the background. That's gray. See the container? It's black, right? So that's what I don't know what this is right here. So you tampered with that product. That's why when I request and I showed you the messaging, when I was talking back and forth to him, what did I say? Send it back so we can test it on a YouTube live stream. Didn't get any information, nothing, just a bunch of arguing back and forth from him. That's all. And you let me know already. So you want to challenge this in court? Knock yourself out. But again, I told you, for wasting my time, you'll owe me $500,000. I hope you have it. Because I'll counter lawsuit. It's not going to be pretty. All right, that's basically about it. We're not going to go on and on about this. We're done with this. Like I said in the day, this is the reason why when you see Mr. Bird talking about test your stuff, test your stuff, test your stuff, test your stuff, batch number, batch number, batch number, batch number. This is why you batch number your stuff, merchants, because you want to protect yourself. And customers At the end of the day, you want to make sure that you get a batch number guarantee that the product is working perfectly fine before it's shipped to you. You also want to make sure, now see this right here, this is where we painted the screen on. You're going to get that look to it, and then when it dries. That's one of the things too. I don't like when people do demonstrations. Let me get back. My brain races at 100 miles an hour. Remember, I got things going through my head. But anyway, as I said before, customers make sure your stuff is, you can make sure the batch number so everything is tested. But let me explain something to you on top of that. For the person, Danny Rogers, who went out and did a demonstration where you skipped and edited the video to quicken up the drying time, bad idea. Extremely bad idea. Customers need to see a proper paint and dry demonstration, which means they literally need to see that screen dry on camera. Because anything could happen. When you cut and edit a video, like, oh, it's already dry. Well, how do we know what went on? Anything could have went on in the drying time. It could have dried patchy. It could have been gray on this side. It could have been black on this side. It could have been anything could have went on in that situation. We need to see that. So when you edit that and speed that up, that's trash. They need to see it dry right on camera. On camera. I'm hyped up, people. Bam, 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 bam. Anyway, I am done here. Now, as you can see by these demonstrations, I don't do them a lot at all, period. It's once in a blue moon you see me want to do one of these demonstrations. If I was doing these every day, that'd be questionable, wouldn't it? But we don't do them every day. We do them once in a blue moon. Every once in a blue moon, we come across one of these customers, and this is how we deal with it. We request a ship back, and they don't require. They argue with us, then we already know from the door that they mess with the product. We already know. What else would you argue about? That monitor right there, say if I broke the seals on it, I went inside, I did some wiring in there I shouldn't have done. It broke. And then I turn back and call back the company, and I say, hey, I want my money back. And they'll say that, well, we need to have it back. We have to check it over to see if you didn't go inside of it. Well, I would have a hard time. I would probably have an argument with them because I did go inside and I did change it around and avoided the warranty by messing with it. So, yeah. But anybody else, if you didn't do anything wrong with it and it just broke, and guess what? You just send it back. That's it. That's all. Period. And I had a few customers that I remember when we had the black technology, we had black technology, and we have gunmetal. Mind you, we have gunmetal technology on the site. And some people are just not ready for black technology. They're just not ready for it. They still have to be eased into it. And they're just used to those gray and white screens, but they still don't want the contrast. I mean, they want the contrast and they want the color. Because if you were happy with your gray and white screen, then why would you contact us? You'd be happy with your own screen, right? So that means there's something missing that you want, that you need, that your screen can't give you. That's why you contact us. Remember, every screen has to go through a sacrifice line. All screens go through sacrifice, every last one of them. Something you have to give up a little bit of. You don't want to get too much of it because then it's a problem. That's why we do the demonstrations like this, to show you that you don't want to give up too much in the sacrifice line. So it depends on how much you have to give up. You give up too much and your screen fails. You have to give up just enough, but not too much. But anyway, so with that being said, is my screen dry yet? I'm drawing the screen over here for the demonstration for this projector. I got coming a 200 lumen projector. As I said before, you know, you're going to go through a sacrifice line. Every screen paint has to go through it. If gray screens come up there and tell you they pull the highest white level, that's bull crap. Because you put a gray screen against a white screen, guess who pulls the highest white level? That'd be white. Take a black screen that's 100% black. No one's going to pull contrast next to that thing because that thing pulls the 100% infinity contrast level, and the rest of the screens won't pick up. They have a sacrifice line. It just kicked off. Does our screen generate 100% white level? No, we've never made the statement because that's impossible. Well, I can't say it's impossible yet. We don't know. We still got an omega to make, so I don't want to talk about that too much. But anyway, as I said before, right now it's impossible. But do we say we have the ability? No, we don't. That's why we do white level tests all the time. We do them at 1,000 lumens. We show you exactly where the white levels are going to lay on the screen. It's not going to come up dark like that, so you can't see it. That's why we have the black versus black test, to show you exactly what's going to happen if our screen didn't have heightener technology and what makes our product different. See what I mean? Gray screen makers, you got to do this with gray paint. What is the difference between your product and other grade paints? Do you pull better contrast than other grade paints? Do you pull better color than other grade paints? Do you have better ambient light rejection than other grade paints? You don't have any of those demonstrations, so that's why customers go elsewhere to buy, because you can't back it up. Where we can. I can show you this. So that's why those tests have to be there and have to be done. But instead you get angry and mad at me because I do the testing and you won't. So whose fault is that? It's not my fault. It's yours. It's not my fault you can't go on site. It's not my fault that your product doesn't work. It's not my fault. Why am I to blame for this? Because you're lazy. I'm to blame because you're too lazy to get off your fat behind and do freaking tests at the end of the day. Get off your fat behind and do the freaking test. That's it. You got to work for it. If you're going to take money from people at the end of the day, you're going to offer service at the end of the day, you need to go work. Gee whiz Louise. Products matching gray paint. Oh, it's a yellowish tone. Really? Seriously? You're going to get on camera and say that? I would love to see this guy do a demonstration out in public in front of people and pull that nonsense. Hey, Crow, do me a favor. Well, you can't do now. California's under a national state right now, going through some stuff in California. Pray for Cali. Cali's going through some stuff right now. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. Cali's going through some stuff. They got storms going on that are actually insane down there right now. Crazy stuff going on there. So pray for Cali. But yeah, when all that's over and done with, and hopefully you survive it all, but all that's over and done with, and I'm not being rude. I mean, hopefully he does survive it all, because a storm is a storm and people are people at the end of the day. But anyway, go out there and do a side-by-side demonstration and let the public decide on your screens and record the whole thing. Please do. Put your screen out there, put it right next to that house paint, and have people go out there and, hey, I got a survey going on here. I want you to tell me, can you see the difference between these two paints? Please do that. Just do it for me, because I do mine all the time. As a matter of fact, I'm doing it on site. I got 38 places to be at. I plan to do that demonstration multiple times on site. So do me a favor, go do that and see what happens. I guarantee you that everybody comes up there and says they look exactly the same. Explain to them about the yellowish tone. And then on top of that, Mr. Rogers, how about you get around to basically explaining to people at the end of the day about range gain? Because I'm still waiting for the demonstration on that one. Look, man, I'm explaining to you right from the door. Either you're going to answer me at the end of the day, or you answer my lawyers in court. One or the other, you're going to have to answer. It doesn't make a difference. Or basically, how about this? Just remove it off your website because it's not real. You're lying. Yeah. Also, to that rear, you don't do rear with the roller. No. Oh, gee whiz, what the freak are they doing? Can we do it right, Johnny? Can we do it right? All right, so let me show you something. I'm trying to help people out here. This is invisible glass. Now, you see those markings all over the screen? This is what happens if you hit it with a roller. This is what happens if you hit it with a paint cannon. Now, the imperfections that you're seeing on the opposite side are from the roller. You see how smooth this looks from the paint cannon? Now, you look at this. This is from a roller. And not from a nap roller, from a foam roller, a smooth roller. It's going to leave imperfections regardless. And those imperfections are going to show up on the opposite side of your screen when light transfers through it. That's why you don't use rollers when you use invisible screen technology. So the biggest mistake you made is when you put it on your site that you can actually roll the screen in. As a matter of fact, there should be at least about, I would say, 40 to 50 different paragraphs on invisible technology, on different forms of capabilities of projectors and environments on how the screen is going to be affected. But since you don't know this, you can't put that on there. There's a story.
All of them had hair gold, like their mother. This one in cross. All right, I've got some work I got to take care of, and I got some things I got to get to.
To the customer, again, I really don't appreciate what you did. You can go file a PayPal complaint. Go ahead. You won't win it, so you know from the door, because we can back our claim 100%. Your product was working perfectly fine when it left out. Your customer is showing that the product's working perfectly fine. Your container is also showing gray paint rolling down the side of the container, as we can clearly see. Where's it at? That's not what I'm calling, is it? Just got to get it from here. Here we go. So we can tell you tampered with it. That's gray paint. So, yeah, you won't win the claim. So I'll tell you right from the door. We're going to submit all this to PayPal's legal department so they can get this taken care of for us. And yeah, lucky you don't live here in the States, because if you did live here in the States, my attorney would be reaching out to you today because you committed fraud against my company. Don't appreciate it. And I could see why, when he kept saying to us, he was contacting saying, oh, we couldn't see the yellows weren't popping up, nothing was coming up on the screen at all, this, that, and the other. And then this gray in it, yeah, this is something you would try to say in the day, well, his product came out gray, not black. So if I do see you posting on YouTube and slander my company, you're going to change my mind quick, and then I'll contact a lawyer, and then I'll make an example out of you. I'll use you as an example, which means I'll pay the money and I'll get you down here because I'll use you as an example. But already this right here is going to be added to Crow's file. Or Jamie's file, sorry. Jamie's file. Because, again, you're associated with them. All right, well, that's basically about it. Hope you enjoyed, people. Sorry I had to bring you into all of this, but eventually everybody has to go through this. Everybody in business has to go through this. It's part of business. You have to go through it. Just, you have to be able to protect yourself. Don't cut corners like these jokers at the end of the day to get themselves caught up in the nonsense they got themselves in. Keep in mind that companies are being challenged, so they're going to have to defend their companies in court, and they don't have any way to do it. So they're done. But don't get caught up in that nonsense. Make sure all your stuff is tested. Make sure everything's legit. Do not lie on your specification sheets. And again, you know, if this customer had contacted us and said, oh yeah, I forgot I was going to talk about that too, about when we have the gunmetal technology. If a customer contacts and says, hey, look, my eyes aren't adjusting right to the black technology. Other people love it. Some people don't adjust to it right. They don't adjust, they're not ready for it. If they had contacted us back and said, okay, is there any possible you can send us a gunmetal technology? Yeah, we would have gave in exchange for a gunmetal. Easily. Shipped it out to you for free. We do it all the time. If we have a customer that's not ready for a black technology, some people are ready for that. Some people aren't ready for it. So we have a gunmetal technology. We would have went over there. We would have shipped you down the product for free. Just send the other one back. That's basically all you have to do. That's it. It's an exchange policy. We have it on the website. So if you're not ready, and that black, well, we carefully read through it first. Make sure you are ready for this, okay? Because this costs me money at the end of the day. But if you're not ready for the black technology, we have gunmetal. You can go buy the Crystal Edge. Matter of fact, we got a customer over there who shows demonstrations of him doing testing on the product for us. Well, he actually did it anyway because we already said something, but he did it with a WeMax projector, portable one at that, which I'm kind of shocked that actually worked because we couldn't get the Ultra Short for Jack. But anyway, the Ultra Short, I wouldn't advise doing it, but he actually got it to work. He's actually in the video demonstrations. You can check him out. But anyway, yeah. You know, we have some customers that'll contact us and say, hey, look, the black isn't for me. It just isn't for me. And we just go, okay, well, just send us back the product. They'll send us back the product. We go from there because we know that some people don't adjust to it. Some people adjust to it, some people don't. And we'll send you out a gunmetal for free. That's it. No, this joker doesn't do that. He goes in, he fights us and argues with us about basically sending the product back. So that's what I said, oh, he tampered with it. And then when he sends the container over and we see the gray dripping down, we're like, oh yeah, he definitely messed with it. Yep, there you go. So we'll send all that over to PayPal. Let me see. Where's my Crystal Edge site? This is my Crystal Edge site. Oh, let me see. Let's go over to Marketplace. This is going to be replaced by Imperior next. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Customer demonstration right here from YouTube. Add That is the gunmetal technology right there. It's dark. It's supposed to be dark. Gunmetal is supposed to be extremely dark. See how he passes the white screen? See how he passes back over to our technology. Now he shows it on the white screen here. And you can watch the demonstration. Go to our Crystal Age page and check it out over there. Fantastic job. Fantastic job. I'm going to be sending him over the I'm going to be sending him over the Imperior. Let me see. Go back over here. Oh, no, that's what you're calling my Black Series page. This right here is the black technology we developed here. This is customer demonstration, right to the page. Now, if that product didn't work, it wouldn't function for anybody. See the white levels pop up? Yeah, that's our black technology that does that. There's our customer right there. Buddy, in England, guess what? See that right there? She came from out of your paint. That whole 10-gallon, yeah, that's her product too. It came out of there too. Here it is right there on her wall. All right then. See, that's what I'm talking about at the end of the day. Customers came out of the same container. Good luck winning that one in court. Ain't going to happen. I would love to see that happen one day. Somebody sit there and say, hey, man, what is that over? That's 5 gallons of cherry drink. And then come back and say, oh, mine came out purple. Yeah, right. That's a good way to get a 302. Look at the colors popping up on that. That's that jealousy. That's what it come down to. That jealousy. That's what it come down to. So to the customer, yeah, your product works perfectly fine. And I guarantee if we got it back over here without the argument, when you fighting us on that, I'd have tested that product, I'd have opened up that container, and I'd have saw it was gray in it instead of black being in it. That's why you couldn't send it back to us. You can't sit there and say I didn't request it because I sat there. I showed you the message. Even Mr. Matthew over in England also too, which also at the bottom requested, send it back. And you refuse to because you put something in it. That's why. And then try to do a demonstration to slander my company. All right. Well, that's basically about it for me. If you notice, my screen in the back isn't here because I'm actually working on it. All right. With that being said, I got to go. I got things I got to do. Thank you all for your time. You know, unfortunately, like I said, this is something you have to go through in business. And as you notice, I don't do these videos every day because we do them once in a blue moon. We get one of these guys at the end of the day, and this is how we deal with it. It's showing you exactly, we back our products up 100%. As always, we give the customer the option to send it back to us so we can test it on live stream. If it's not working correctly, then we'll see it right there. But I don't know how, since we have a batch number showing the product's working, but we still have you send it back. I don't sit there and argue, oh, it has a batch number, you can't send it back to me, you're stuck with it. I didn't say that. I said send it back. So what's the problem? All right, then. That's the end of it right there. Got to go. Thank you all, and God bless.